Parliament House isn't the only place where you'll find politics. Pretty much any organisation, no matter how big or small, will at some stage become captive to people jockeying for power. The sport of powerlifting in Australia is a case in point, with two local federations vying for control and athletes caught in the middle. Tracy Holmes reports.
Powerlifting is a pursuit which requires grit, guts and brute force.
And it's easy, and he can hold it there all day long.
It's a long way down and it's deep. There's a reason why she's a world champion.
We love lifting. I love lifting. I'm a mum. I'm an extremely busy mum. I work in a couple of different jobs and I'm an athlete, and that's all I have time for.
That is a huge opener. We're talking 407 pounds.
Cass Pickard is the current world champion. She began lifting after the birth of her two children.
I've been lifting internationally for Australia now for the last 5 years, and I want to keep lifting at this level.
But now she's caught up in a power struggle between this man, Robert Wilkes, and one of his former athletes, Shaun Muir, and it's torn the sport apart. Like many strength-based sports, powerlifting was once awash with steroids. The International Powerlifting Federation was formed in 1972 and with long-term Olympic aspirations introduced drug testing.
We want to have a clean sport, and that is why we're fighting against doping, and that is our goal.
Push backwards, first bit goes back. Push backwards.
The international body endorsed Powerlifting Australia as its local affiliate. Its long-time CEO is Robert Wilkes.
We are the predominant body representing the sport in Australia. We have the vast majority of members, the vast majority of competitions.
But the relationship has soured.
With roll,
In 2015, Robert resigned as chair of the international body's anti-doping commission. What brought him down, though, had nothing to do with drugs.
We received a PowerPoint presentation on our meeting from a third party relating to his wife's business, and that was the reason why he resigned, because the question has been raised up if that is not an ethical problem.
That ethical problem, according to the International Federation, is the legal brothels run by Robert Wilkes' wife.
It is surely a problem that parents will send their children with a coach who is official representing a federation and related to this business. I said to him, what do you propose? And then he proposed us to resign.
But Robert says he resigned because he was fed up with the state of the international body run by Gaston Perage.
he found all these spurious matters along those lines, including what licences or businesses my wife might have had or does have, and just threw that at me.
So it wasn't because the timing happened to coincide with them distributing a PowerPoint presentation to the board,
No.
suggesting these links with your wife's businesses?
No, absolutely not. That's not the issue. The issue was me being fed up with the state of the IPF. What my wife does is my wife's business. I have no connection with her businesses.
Then in November last year, the International Federation voted to remove Wilkes entirely and cut ties with Powerlifting Australia, leaving the athletes out in the cold.
47 countries voted and 47 wanted him out. We were told that, you know, if we're going to carry on lifting for Powerlifting Australia, we couldn't lift under the IPF umbrella anymore, which means as athletes, none of us could compete at international level.
I would just go 60, 100, 120.
Rather than walk away, Robert Wilkes launched legal action against the IPF in 2 separate courts and at the same time established a new international body in direct competition to the IPF. With the court cases still unfolding, behind closed doors, allegations continue to fly from all sides. Do you not think that with these legal cases that you have and with this setting up of your own international body, that you're not playing into the hands of your detractors that say that you come across as bullying and threatening?
How is it threatening to establish a bona fide sporting body? How is that bullying?
I have heard that Rob has been a bit of a bully and has threatened legal action at times. I've never experienced that myself. I know he's run a tight ship with his federation, and I guess he's had to.
Former lifter Shane Naylor says that Robert's brand of leadership is paramount to his success.
He's very passionate about the sport. He's always been good with young people entering the sport. And he's been very influential. He's coached a lot of great athletes.
One of those is Shaun Muir. In order to provide athletes like Cas Pickard a path to the World Championships, he formed a new national body, the Australian Powerlifting Union, which now has the backing of the International Federation. But it meant walking away from his long-time coach, Robert Wilkes.
I appreciate everything that he's done for the sport, but my goal now is to look after the athletes that are coming across the APU. He's been a credit to powerlifting in general. As you're probably very aware, I've got to be very cautious.
Shaun is cautious because he is also being sued by Robert Wilkes, who says the cases are based on misleading and deceptive conduct.
APU has claimed at various points they have testing from this agency, the other agency, ASADA, and now they're claiming that they are WADA compliant.
Shaun Muir has now lodged a countersuit against Robert Wilkes. Like Robert, Shaun is also a strong anti-doping campaigner.
Drug testing is so important because it keeps a level playing field for all athletes, especially in this strength sport called powerlifting.
But here's the sting. He can't get anti-doping agency ASADA to test his athletes because Robert Wilkes Federation is the only Australian body recognised by the Australian Sports Commission.
Rob has been at the helm of the original federation, the one that's affiliated with the Australian Sports Commission and the other government sporting bodies.
Bar is loaded, 110 kilos.
But that recognition expires at the end of the year. Then the Sports Commission has a choice to make: continue to endorse the Wilkes-run Powerlifting Australia or hand it over to the Muir-run APU. In the meantime, the athletes are trying not to be distracted by the politics and legalities in this classic power struggle.
Gold medal winner in Australia, Cas Pickard.
I love lifting and I want to keep lifting at this level. I don't know how long I'm going to be competitive enough. So if I can keep lifting now, I don't want to hang around and wait to see what's going to happen down the track.